Hey, thanks again for sending in questions related to our recent sermons. We have just completed our Next 85 series where we have envisioned how we want to begin our next 85 years at Bridges. Part of that, of course, includes our building dreams and visions, plans. And so the question comes in this week: why must Christians build buildings? Isn't our faith spiritual? Do we need a place in order to worship God, connect with others? And that's a fantastic question. I would say throughout the course of this series, you might have noticed that there are many building projects in Scripture. Of David commissioning the building of the temple, Solomon building it, Nehemiah coming to rebuild the walls, Ezra coming to rebuild the temple. Psalm 127 we talked about, unless the Lord builds a house, builders build in vain. In the New Testament, we have churches, people meeting in physical spaces. And before the temple's destroyed, the Christians continued to meet, in the temple portico. So they're meeting in a physical place. And so why must Christians build buildings is because we are embodied creatures. We don't just exist, kind of in some kind of ethereal plane. I think we really found this during COVID when we were meeting online, virtually. I mean, can that kind of work? It can kind of work, okay? It's not like it didn't work at all, but it's not the same as being in person in a place. And so we gather together in person in a place because those are the kind of creatures that we are. And of course, when Jesus came to earth, he didn't come as a voice or a spirit or some kind of, presence that we feel. He came incarnationally. He came tangibly, as a person, flesh and blood, and that is who we are. We can't escape that. We must be physically present, in order to connect with one another, and to a certain degree. I mean, we can connect virtually to a certain degree, but only to a certain degree. We must be physically present somewhere. And because we must be physically present somewhere to get kind of a deeper amount of connection with one another, then we must have a space in order for that to happen. And so that is why Christians build. That is why Christians have always built. And that is why we must build ourselves. We must have a place for our children. We must have a place for our life groups. We must have a place for our patio fellowship connection time. These have to be places that you can, that are bricks and mortar, that you can touch, that you can exist within. And so that's why we build. That's why we must build. So thanks for the question. We hope that's helpful, and we'll see you next time.